typically the only time contractors get involved and have a conversation with an attorney is when something goes bad and there's litigation and that sort of thing. So I believe that attorneys are incredibly valuable at solving issues, and we're going to talk about how to prevent issues. But how do you think about contractors? Let's just talk about that. What's your perspective on contractors?
Well, I can tell you, we need contractors. Many great general contractors that do fantastic work. It's always amazed me that a man or woman with a pickup truck and a shovel can pull together subcontractors, can follow a design, can use their wisdom and wherewithal to build beautiful buildings that we live our lives in, to build infrastructure. America needs contractors. They're part of how America moves and succeeds and wins in the world marketplace. And so, some of the most inspiring things in life are things built by the hands of men and women. And so, I've got a soft spot in my heart for general contractors who help us to build America and to build the places that we live, work, and play.
Yeah, it's when you zoom out, which is tough to do when you've been in it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. But when you zoom out and look at the construction process, somebody puts some lines on paper, right, in the form of documents, drawings. Then they put words in a spec book that specify what it needs to look like. And then construction professionals come together, they estimate what the cost is going to be, and then there's this contract that's written, which consists of words and lines on paper, and that gets turned into reality, which is, if you think about it, it's remarkable that it ever works, right? That
well, it's even more phenomenal than that, Todd. I'll tell you, if you look back at the history of civilizations, the most successful civilizations have things that are built that are good and workable. Bridges, the Roman aqueducts from even thousands of years ago, some of which are still standing. Colosseum in Rome, the Great Pyramids in South America and the Middle East. These are just a few of the thousands of examples of things that people build that define us, that help us to live better lives. And the fact is, way back when there was no spec book, there were plans, of course, and calculations and cubits. Some even would say that, the biblical building of the ark was a great construction project, which of course, yes. And so people that can bring all those different aspects together, time, space, material, and then keep a schedule. Holy cow, right? Some would say miraculous. And in some circumstances, the engineering or the architecture is miraculous. And in some cases, a contractor is able to get things done that folks just didn't think could be done. And there's, many examples of that too. And so sometimes it's just a miracle it all comes together. There's the old adage about, if construction's involved, there's going to be delays. Well, yes, of course there is. And, you can figure that into your agreement with the owner. And so, yeah, it's a good and great thing that we have here, and it's to be admired. And it's interesting that it ever really comes together sometimes.